Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jasmine, and welcome back to another vlog. For any of you who might be new here, I have been on a weight loss journey using a GLP-1 compounded medication, tirzepatide, since January 1st of 2024. I am currently down right around 135-ish pounds. I share my weekly weigh-ins along with other weight loss related content here, so if you have not joined the family, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Today I wanted to do a little sit down chitty chat video to just kind of talk about something that has kind of been on like the back of my mind for the past couple days, and I'm not gonna hold you guys, this might be a little bit controversial, but let's talk about it because that's why we're here, right? To share our thoughts and opinions, and different people can have different thoughts and opinions, and that's okay because we are all human and we are all different. And yeah, that being said, I mentioned that I had been on a GLP-1 medication, which has most definitely helped me tremendously in my weight loss journey and has aided me with not just my weight loss but also managing my PCOS. And so yeah, it's been a total game changer for sure. Along with being on the GLP-1 medication though, I have primarily focused on eating in a calorie deficit as well as working out regularly to lose the weight that I've lost. And now I will start by saying there is no right or wrong way to lose weight. Everyone is different, all of our bodies are different, all of our backgrounds are different, we all have different eating habits and preferences and cultures, and so take all that into account with what I'm about to say. But for me personally, the way I have chosen to lose weight, like I said, is by focusing on a calorie deficit. And when I say I focus on a calorie deficit, I truly mean that is all I focus on. Yes, I try to get extra protein in when and where I can, but I, for the majority of this journey, have not really been focusing on even tracking the protein as much as just calories in, calories out. And so this is gonna sound maybe a little bit crazy or cringy to some of y'all, but I'm gonna be honest. For the first probably 6 months of my journey, I was literally eating like Totino's pizza for dinner like every single day. I mean, okay, maybe not every single day, but I would say a lot of days, like the majority of days, I felt like I was, one of my hyperfixation dinners was a triple cheese Totino's frozen pizza. There's 600 and I think 60 calories for the entire pizza, and yeah, that is what I would eat. And at over 340 pounds, I could easily fit that into my day as a meal and be well within my calorie deficit. And so that is exactly what I did, and I honestly feel like that was kind of, in a weird way, like key to my success. It was the fact that I allowed myself to eat literally whatever I wanted, even if it wasn't healthy foods per se. If it fit in my calorie deficit, I would eat it, and if I wanted it, right? Like, I had no food rules, no food restrictions, and to this day I do not have restrictions. I feel like everything in moderation. I know, again, everyone is different, and obviously if you're somebody who is dealing with some type of chronic illness or condition such as diabetes or like an autoimmune disorder or other things that have dietary restrictions and things you need to adhere to, obviously, you know, you have to make lifestyle changes in that way. But for me personally, I am not diabetic and I do have PCOS, but I don't have any like food restrictions necessarily from the PCOS. I mean, sure, could my symptoms improve if I maybe ate a little cleaner? Of course, but I felt like when I first started out my journey, I was honestly at a point where I had been yo-yo dieting for the past 10 years, and I just felt like nothing would work. Nothing would stick. I had tried all of the different diets. I had tried keto, I had tried Weight Watchers, I had tried being a vegan for a little bit, and tried eating whole foods and like forcing myself to eat foods that I genuinely just do not have a palate for. And I feel like in the past that has always kind of contributed to my downfall, because I was trying to force myself to eat a type of way that I just could not sustain for any period of time. I have talked about this a couple times, but I have always been an extremely picky eater, to the point where I kind of feel like I have maybe a mild form of like ARFID. And if y'all don't know what that is, you can look it up. It's basically just people who are extremely picky eaters, to the extreme that they might have only like 5 different foods they'll feel comfortable eating. I'm not to that extreme, but I am to the extreme in that I have texture issues with most fruits and vegetables. I do not eat a ton of meat either, aside from like hamburgers and tacos. And when I say tacos, I mean like white people tacos. I'm talking just like meat and cheese tacos, okay? And like chicken tendies. Like I do not eat like steak or like, you know, meat like that. I never have. I've never enjoyed anything like that, and I've never been able to tolerate it. And so yeah, it has always kind of been a struggle for me. And obviously as I got older and started putting on weight, before I really understood calories and how the body actually loses weight and how a calorie deficit plays a role in things, I always used to be under the impression that I just needed to eat healthy, that I was fat because all I would eat is pizza and chicken tenders. I just needed to force myself to eat broccoli and chicken breast and I could certainly lose this weight. And while that may be true, at the same time what is true is that I could not eat broccoli and chicken breast every day for any period of time to save my life, because I literally physically gag on broccoli. And so I just kind of wanted to share my story, because I feel like I surely cannot be the only person who struggles in this way. I just wanted to let whoever needs to hear it know that you do not have to completely overhaul your entire diet to lose weight. If you are like me and you live off of pizza and chicken tendies and you feel like losing weight is impossible because you hate salad, you do not have to eat the salad. You can lose weight eating the pizza and chicken tendies. Now, can we binge on those things and eat them in excessive? Like, obviously not. You know, there has to be a limit. Everything has to be within the deficit, right? But again, if you are starting out at, like myself, over 300 pounds, another thing to keep in mind is that your calorie deficit is going to be big enough. Like, you will have enough calories that you'll be able to eat in a deficit that you'll be able to fit a lot of those types of foods in, more than you would probably think, and still lose weight. Like I said, I was literally eating an entire Totino's pizza, which they're not huge, you know, but a whole pizza every single night, and I was losing weight. I lost like my first 70 pounds doing that, and you know, and I lost it really quickly. So yeah, I know, again, this is probably controversial, and there are people that are gonna be like, oh well, sodium, this, that, and the third. And yeah, sure, maybe it can slow down the process if you're eating a ton of processed crap. Sure, maybe you won't feel as great as you would if you were eating, you know, totally clean and whatever. But it's like, if you were trying to force yourself to eat totally clean and you're somebody who just does not like that kind of food, are you gonna do it long enough to actually lose the weight? Like, be honest with yourself, because if you're like me, it's just not gonna happen, you know? And that also goes for like desserts and things. I have had dessert, some type of dessert, every single night for the past 16 months that I have been on this weight loss journey. I am the type of person who cannot go to bed without a sweet treat. Like, and say what you will about that, but that is just me. That's who I am. And so I will consciously save enough calories at the end of every day to make sure I can have myself a little sweet treat, whether that be a Pop-Tart. Toaster strudels have been my hyperfixation lately for dessert, or a cookie or ice cream, whatever I am wanting to have. But yeah, I definitely eat dessert every single night. Will I eat like this forever? I mean, I don't know. I would like to think that at some point I'd be able to incorporate more healthier foods and more fruits and veggies. I know that it is possible to retrain your palate, and I would like to do that, but I feel like right now, you know, I still have a good 70 pounds I need to lose, and so I cannot trip myself up now and try to overhaul things right now. You know, I feel like I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I will get to goal weight, and then at that point we can reevaluate. But I feel like what I've been doing has been working. So anyways, like I said, I know this can be controversial, and I might have some people in the comments yelling at me about, you know, how unhealthy I am and whatever, but you know, the truth is that I feel the healthiest I have felt in the past 10 years. Okay, I work out 5 days a week. I have built muscle. I am strong, and I feel good. And do I have a stellar 100% spot on diet? Absolutely not. But you don't have to. You don't have to be perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. And I feel like sometimes people, myself included, I used to be the type of person that I would let perfection get in the way of good enough. And I think when you're on a weight loss journey, a long-term weight loss journey, which any weight loss journey should be long-term because this is a lifestyle change you're making, right? You have to realize that we are all human, and you're gonna have days where you're off track. You're gonna have days where you eat more than you meant to. You're gonna have days where you eat crap for the entire day, and that is okay. And it does not mean that you are not going to meet your goals. And so yeah, like I said, I hope this message finds someone who needs to hear it. If you made it this far, go ahead and leave a pizza emoji down in the comments section, because pizza is my favorite food group. And as always guys, I appreciate y'all so much for watching. I will see y'all in my next one.